All right, here we go. When you hear the word masculine ego, is the thought that immediately jumps into your head, is it good or bad? Masculine ego. The truth is, if you're paying attention, and I assume you are, if the title of this session caught your attention and you're here, if you're paying attention, you will see that those two words are clouded with mystery, ignorance, and most importantly, willful ignorance. Mystery and ignorance because the majority just simply have no idea what either truly means. Ignorance is not a judgment of something. It just means you don't know what you don't know, right? Willful ignorance, on the other hand, means turning a blind eye to the truth. Hello, my name is Mark Mascola. Let me welcome you to Masculine to the Core and the Man in the Arena podcast. In this session, we're going to discuss the identity, a man's identity crisis. I mean, it's everywhere. You don't have to look very far. We're going to talk about the identity crisis, why we have it, and why there is only one solution to fixing it. Because you see, right now, at this very point in history, we're at a crossroads. Mental weakness in men, specifically young men, has created a mental, and I'm not going to use the word illness because that gets into a whole different conversation. Mental weakness in men has created a mental sickness. A sickness that there is a solution to. Let me tell you, we are raising an entire generation of mentally weak men, and we want to blame them. And let me tell you, it's not their fault. We have a masculine guidance issue. Men and young men left to wander aimlessly will fall victim to an enemy. And who is the enemy? Well, in 1 Peter 5, verse 8, the enemy walks around like a hungry lion seeking men to devour. Let me say that again. Men and young men left to wander aimlessly will fall victim to an enemy. That enemy is the devil. And in 1 Peter 5:8, the enemy walks around like a hungry lion seeking men to devour. You know, in order to fix the problem, you have to look first at what men are being told about themselves. You have to look at who is telling them the destructive information and understand that if we don't begin immediately planting seeds of godliness in their minds, their ungodliness will continue, and the lion, I can promise you, has an insatiable appetite. Men, and I say all men of all ages, are being told the great lie. And the great lie, and the problem is not just the lie they're being told, but the lie is that the biggest tragedy here is that men are believing it. The great lie simply tells us that there is something wrong with you for being a man. There's something wrong with your skin color. There's something wrong with the way you think. There's something wrong with where you are in your relationship with God, what you do for a living. I mean, fill in the blanks. You don't have to look very far to find it. It is absolutely everywhere. The great lie tells you that there is something wrong with you, and I want you to if you pay attention to politics at all, you will find a huge pile of those dumbasses talking about something called masculinity that they have absolutely no clue about. The word masculinity, simply defined, is the characteristics of men, the characteristics of being a man. And the word ego, defined, is how we identify ourselves. So let me tell you, if you think the word ego is a four-letter word and the word masculine is a four-letter word and there's something wrong with both of them, there's not. We as men, we all have an ego, and it's whether we follow the false ego, again, the definition, how we identify ourselves, or our true ego. The word masculinity, again, simply defined, is the characteristics of men or a man. The ego, defined, is how we identify ourselves. You see, we are as men, we're searching for validation that we have to be successful, right? What has happened to men is they strive to be defined by their false ego. Why is that? It's because of this validation thing. We have a desire to be viewed as successful. We long for success and the perceived power that comes with it. Now, I talk about it in the new book that I've got coming out called Masculine to the Core, that the core desire of every man is not the word success. The core desire of every man is not success, and how we identify what we view as successful. The core desire of every man, whether he is aware of it or not, is the word fulfillment. And fulfillment has three parts: personal fulfillment, professional fulfillment, and spiritual fulfillment, and they all three matter. We will never be fulfilled personally and professionally until we understand that our spiritual fulfillment begins with understanding our true masculine ego. In the book of Genesis in the Bible is the story of creation. It tells us that on the sixth day, God created man in his image and in his likeness. In the image of God, man was created, and God not only affirmed and validated what he had done was good, but he said it was very good. Now, here's what I want you to understand, and you will hear me if you follow this podcast, you read the book, you look at anything else that I do anywhere. It's going to be this message, that a power greater than us created us in the image and the likeness of the power itself. Again, God created man on that sixth day in his image and in his likeness, and that power, which is greater than us, created us in the image and the likeness of itself. So back to the definition, and I'm going to add a few things to the definitions. Masculinity, the characteristics of men created in the image and likeness of God. Think about how that changes that word. Godly masculinity, the characteristics of men created in the image and likeness of God. Ego. And here's where the problem is, that there's a separation of man and God by men not identifying themselves and validating themselves by that power. Our true masculine ego comes directly from the source of that power. And men, that's what we seek with our very being. We were created to be connected to that source and understand that that power that is greater than us created us in the image and the likeness of itself. So, in a nutshell, the problem is that we have an enemy at work. There's an enemy at work, and his number one mission is to keep every man, you, me, every man that has ever been created or will be created. His number one mission is that he is trying to accomplish is to keep us from understanding our true identity and purpose. He wants to keep me, you, and every other man from discovering the powerful man God created us to be and to become. Men who understand their true identity because they understand the source of that identity. Men who understand their true identity because they understand the source of that identity. Again, a higher power called God created us in the image and the likeness of the power itself, and that same higher power called God created each of us with and for a higher purpose. At Masculine the Core, our purpose is to create resources, podcasts, videos, workshops, and live events to empower men to intentionally create a God-centered, fulfillment-driven life. Now, if you haven't done so, be sure and step into this arena and subscribe. If what we do inspires you, be sure to share it. I can promise you, my brother, this is a movement, a revival. This is the great awakening of God's men to their true identity and purpose. I'd love to hear what you have to say about today's session in the comments. Till next time, be a man of impact in your home and in your community. 2026 is your year. Till next time, affirm like I do. I am masculine to the core. I am committed, optimistic, resilient, and empowered. I'm a more powerful me because of our most powerful God. This is Mark signing off. Bye for now.